right, gentlemen, welcome. We're back with another MOHAVE County Football Talk, and as you can see, we have some special guests here. I say Coach Klingensmith. I don't know if you do any coaching anymore.
Not so much. The AD,
athletic director
took me
at
out of
Mount,
coaching,
and then head football coach, Coach Gibson, who has a big playoff game coming up this week, coming off of a really big win, and we're going to jump into that pretty fast. And then Coach Mitch, welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Very excited. A lot of fun stuff happening this week. It's crazy how fast the season flies by, right?
Yeah.
for sure.
You look up, we're talking about what could be, and then all of a sudden, boom, here we are. Playoff games, playoff pictures, seedings. I mean, happens fast.
Yep, definitely. Excited to talk about this week. I'm definitely looking forward to your guys' playoff game this week, playing the same team you played last week.
It's a little deja vu, but yeah.
Yeah. Before we jump into that game specifically, gentlemen, tell us a little bit about what you got going on out there. Good season, had some tough games early, battled back, hosting a playoff game. That's kind of the goal in most regular season run-ups.
You know, every week is, where we start 0-0, no matter what a record is. So we just try to take on that week every week at a time, and the last few weeks has been really pushing. We won a home playoff game.
Yeah.
You guys put in the work. We deserve a home playoff game. So they really rallied behind that. We were down some guys and had some guys missing, but that's the next guy up policy. So we went out and we had to make some mid-game adjustments, and we were able to actually pull off a nice win. Outside of the score of being 74-40. I thought they played really well in the second half, and they say there's like a mystery with the whole AIA rankings, and you don't really know what goes into it. So we were able to actually slide into that 8th spot, which got us that home game. And talking with their coach after the game, we were just kind of spitballing, like, hey, let me know if you need any film on who you guys get, blah blah blah. Best of luck. Pulling for you guys. And then Saturday morning comes, and I wake up and look at my phone, and we got back at like 4:30 in the morning. So I slept in a little bit, and I see texts from a bunch of people, and then there's Coach Felix going, hey, see you on Friday. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. So, statistically, you don't want to see someone back to back.
No.
But I think after practicing this week and, being prepared of what they bring to the table, I think our guys will be ready.
And you're kind of in the same position of some other schools we're going to cover, to where you guys have gotten healthier as the season has gone on versus the opposite, which is kind of what your opponent's experiencing. And that's got to be exciting too, getting full spectrum of guys back. You played a lot early without key guys. It's crucial to have health. What's it like getting ready for that run, knowing you got everyone you expected?
There are a few guys that are, nursing some injuries, but I think for the most part, the key guys who we've been working with this week will play, and it's a good feeling to have going into the playoffs. And I always say, like, I'd rather play a team at 100% knowing we win or lose to them, knowing that they brought everything. But I do know Desert Heights. I know their quarterback has been out the last couple weeks, and that's kind of who we were preparing for. And I've gone against him now for 4 years, and kid is a great athlete. He's a specimen. He's a student of the game. So when he wasn't, dressed out, it was kind of like, oh, dang. Like, in my head, I went straight to, like, I really want you to play, dude. Like, I talked to him before the game. And
I spent a lot of time preparing to beat you,
yes,
and now you're not out there.
Yes. So, and that's kind of went through our game off a little bit. We had to make some quick adjustments. So, no, I hope he gets healthy. I know he's got a future ahead of him. And if his tests come back, negative, I would expect him to suit up to play one of his possibly last game, So I'm hoping to see number 5. Mason, if you're watching, I wish you, hopefully a speedy recovery and the best.
Yeah. So I say call everybody coach. We always do. I started calling Jeff coach last week. So, Mr. Klingensmith, kind of surprised when you get a home playoff game sprung on you. But you guys have put a lot of work into getting that facility on campus, getting it up and running. You guys always have one of the best game day experiences. Tell me a little bit about having to put that together relatively quick, and then how exciting it is for the school to host a playoff game.
Yeah, well, for sure the excitement. I mean, we're gonna, I think, have a pep rally tomorrow. Our student body, it's unique. It's just the atmosphere. The student council puts so much energy and effort into, not only our student section on game days, excuse me, but just leading up to it, the posters around the school, different things. But as far as setting up a game on short notice, I mean, in the back of my mind, I kind of had a plan of like, we have a shot, even though we were sitting at 10, they were sitting at 6. We had to jump 2 spots to get up to that 8 spot to be the final team that gets the right to host. So it was kind of in my mind of, and in fact, I think I even sent him one of the texts on Saturday. I was like, you did it. Like, you made this happen. Like, you and the kids went out there and, we always preach, control what you can control, do what you can do, and they made it happen. But as far as, the facilities, and another thing that this guy doesn't get a lot of credit for is, we've got flag football that started this year. We have a middle school program that goes at the exact same time. So we've got one field for 3 teams. And he does. I mean, some things you can do on a short field. Special teams, you definitely can't. There's other things that you need a full field for. But this guy, is generous enough that he's never once complained. He's never once said, hey, get these other teams out of here. I need my space. He works around it, and he's a true team player in that fashion. So, I commend him for that.
Thank you.
And not only that, just the preparation. I mean, what I've seen from him this year, not that he hasn't done it before, but I feel like he gets the absolute most out of his athletes. In years, and this isn't a dig on anybody, but we have had more talented, more athletic teams in the past. And I mean, here we are hosting the first round of playoffs. So, again, just getting the most out of his players from what him and Coach Beck are doing, I think is very impressive.
It's funny you mentioned Coach Beck. I had coached with him a little bit, and I know that he had joined your staff. I was going to probably ask you off camera, but I'm going to ask you because it's a talk show, right? So,
Yeah.
what's Coach Beck brought? I really enjoyed coaching with the guy. He's got a pretty good football brain, and he is very passionate about it. If you tell him that you want him to coach lacrosse tomorrow, he's going to be tomorrow morning reading a book about lacrosse. What's it like having Coach Beck and any other members of your staff that have, made this happen?
Adding him on, over the past couple of years, we're trying to find help, find someone, and I think we hit a home run with Beck. He's passionate, like you said. Anything, I'm getting text, middle of the night. He's a night owl guy. So, and he's just always trying to find a one-up, a way to get them better with any type of drill, any type of motivation. And in the past, I've had to be the rah-rah guy a lot. So him being able to take that role on, and we split it, and he's a great mentor for these kids, and
Very cool.
he tells them how it is, whether they like to hear it or not. But they need that, and he's definitely someone good to have in your corner, and I'm glad to have him, and I hope he sees this and can understand the benefits he brings.
You better see this. Better share it too if he's watching.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad to hear he landed in a good place, and he was a really undervalued contributor. He does tell you what you don't want to hear sometimes, and then you go back, you're like, dang, Coach Beck was right. So, but really glad to have you guys on the show. Hopefully you can hang on and go through it. But let's jump in and talk about your game. I believe we do have some pictures. You went in, you mentioned prepared for the starter. Kid was unavailable, had a little bit of an adjustment, and had some guys step up, made some in-game adjustment, come away with a big win. So,
Yeah, Desert Heights, man, they always have good athletes. They always bring the best out of us for sure, no matter the score of the game. But
yeah, there you go. That's a cool picture.
a big props to
Some of the best uniforms in the county, huh?
Yeah.
Number 4, I think his name's Justin Ogwan. I think I'm saying it right. Stepped in at quarterback from a receiver role, and the dude can run. He can scramble. It was like watching Mike Vick out there, and he found every gap we left open on that front, and he made us pay. I mean, it was a one-score game up until, I think, the end of the second, where we were able to actually get the defense off the field. And, you know, they did a really good job at exploiting our weaknesses that first half. So, you know, I don't expect anything less than a dogfight with these region games. It's always a good game, so I expect nothing less on Friday.
So, with that being said, you had a lot of guys step up. We had talked about some of them, but it actually produced our Player of the Week this week.
Yes, you did. Congratulations to our Player of the Week, Rylan Cranbrule. Am I saying that right? Cranbrule.
Yeah.
There we go.
We love butchering all these.
Our
players.
first, yes, our first 8 touchdown performance of the season. 4 throwing, 4 running. Did a great job. 12 for 18, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. QB rating of 149. And then rushing the ball, what do we got here? 15 carries, 129, 8.6 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns.
Just a day at the office, huh?
Decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can't leave out his receivers, though, especially junior Drake Knight. 6 catches, 189 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Very impressive stuff.
Very impressive, and you know we've had the luxury of meeting some of these kids, and so far they've all been very, you know, they've kind of deferred all the success to everybody else, and that's always great to hear. And kind of a unspoken recipe for success on teams is being selfless. And I don't know how you do that after an 8 touchdown performance, but I guess you could tell us the secret to that.
Well, you know, I do want to give some credit to a couple other guys. Julian Zanetti, I think coming into this last game, he was our 4th string running back, and with some injuries, you know, he got bumped up. You know, opportunity knocked, and he opened the door, man. He ran the ball hard for us, and he got us the yards we needed. And in our little option plays we run, he was able to really cut up that defense, I think, which opened up for Drake and Owen Honegger. You know, this is one of his silent but deadly games. You know, he did get tackled a few times on the 5 and 1 that he had some pretty big catches, but he's been inside blocking for us too this game, and he had a couple big blocks.
Lose our feed there, Jeff, or is that just on the screen?
I think we're good.
Okay.
No, he actually blocked for Drake and actually took out 2 defenders. He blocked a guy into another guy, which sprung one of Drake's catches for a touchdown. And you know, Drake's catches, I mean, outside of the one catch he had, all of them were like 5 to 6 yard routes that he just decided he wanted to, you know, like I said the other day, unhook the trailer, and he took it the distance.
Well, and it's pretty exciting. I don't know if he was a necessarily a known threat, but he sure is now. And with, you know, Honegger, I assume, working the outside, the quarterback run the ball. I mean, that's being a multifaceted offense makes it really tough to defend. So it's kind of nice to have these guys emerging at the right times.
It is, and we spread the love a lot. I mean, we really don't have that running back who's over 1,000 yards or anything. Between Rylan, Zanetti, Dylan Underwood, Martina Bundes, and Jerry Torres running the ball, we spread it around, and you know, those guys definitely get reps. And you know, being a 1A school, you know, a lot of guys play both ways. So the more guys you can get a little breaks in here, you know, the better they are.
I watched, and I know you guys are very much the same. I watched Mojave, and they turned the ball over or something. I don't remember what happened. Maybe they turned it over on downs in that last game, and you watch like 2 guys come off, 2 guys go on. You know, it's not like you know, some of the other schools where you had a whole different batch of bodies. So, very exciting. Congratulations, Rylan Cranbuell. Huge performance, 8 touchdowns, big win. Got your big part of getting yourself a home playoff game. Did we have anything else for that game before we go on to predictions? We don't want to predict yet, right?
No, not yet. So we can move on to Seton Catholic versus River Valley, a game which you were there for a quarter and a half.
Quarter and a half, yeah. So, gentlemen, by all means, we'd love you to contribute any thoughts you have. I don't know if you even have the luxury of watching things out of your conference. But
I don't a whole lot, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's tough. I spend a lot of time looking at 1A football.
We watch everybody, right? And so, and I talk to, like, you know, my buddy Matt Maish. We're watching everything. I talk to, you know, Coach Clark. He watches a little bit of everything. But for the most part, everybody's very, very tunnel visioned on their schedule, week, conference, you know, all these other things. But we'd love to get any thoughts or insights you guys have. So, Seton Catholic at River Valley, senior night for River Valley. Big game they had to win. I wasn't there for the whole game, but you were.
Yes, and boy, did they show up. 5 touchdown performance from A. Montgomery, which ties the all-time touchdown record in a game with like multiple other people. Like his dad had 5 touchdowns. Hammett had 5 touchdowns on 7 carries a few years
Like
back.
Coach King said, right? Death taxes and River Valley,
running backs.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, I saw there's a little bit of a argument about breaking or tying the record. Turns out he tied the record
Tied
with
the
his
record, yes.
dad,
Hammett.
Brandon Long, Hammett.
Hammett.
Who knows? I don't know how far back River Valley
Yeah.
goes, but that's pretty cool. And we do have a little bit of video from that. Deacon May showed up big
Yep.
in that game.
3 sacks.
Yeah, 3 sack performance.
Video one?
Yep.
And shout out to, I think Fiona is getting these nice ground level videos. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but it sure is nice to get a little bit of a different view than the damn huddle
Yep.
video all
Right.
the time, you know.
Yep. Here we
We'd
go.
love to see it, but
Yeah.
Mikey Gonzalez, Deacon, you know, they schemed away from him, went the other way, and when they didn't, they paid for it. And, game or not, but here's a great look, both of them.
Great block right
Yeah.
Great him loose.
And this is early in the game. I was here for some of these.
This is kind of my favorite run here because just like you don't see him.
Oh, it faded out.
It faded
What
out,
the
Jeff. It faded out.
I'm coming back, I'm coming back, I'm fine.
Yeah. So
Here it is,
anyway,
But yeah, this is kind of my favorite run from Montgomery here because he kind of just like
well, I like the kid going end over end at the beginning of this. He goes in the block, gets flipped.
right. 'Cause you don't see him, and then just out of nowhere he sneaks out of there. Yeah.
And I mean, they did exactly what they had to do. Had to have a pretty commanding performance over Seton Catholic. Seton Catholic played some tough games, won a few, lost a few, and then they got a big trip ahead of them this week that is going to have a huge impact on their playoff fate. So it's fun to see them back at their home field. I know that everybody's very excited about that. It was kind of weird. I got out there and thought I'd lay low, and I think I ran into half the town out there. So it was
Just
pretty
about,
cool.
yeah.
Pretty cool to see. Congratulations, River Valley. I know they've got a lot of guys contributing. It was a very emotional senior night. Saw some of them guys that coached when they were little, dude, and I was out there going, you can't be seniors right now.
You know, it's weird. You're a coach in the area, and you know we're blessed to have 3-4 other schools here. And when you see performances like Aiden Montgomery, it's kind of like, wow, I wish I had that guy, you know. But no, I saw that, and you wish you could reach out and congratulate them, and it's a good feeling to know that there's other success in this town outside of your own program, and that's just a tribute to all of our coaches out here.
We talked about that a little bit too, where collectively in the area, we've had relatively unparalleled success as an area. I mean, Needles has been successful, River Valley's been successful, Mohave's been successful, Mount's been successful. Very rarely do you see all of those schools excel at the same time. You know, usually it's more the ups and downs.
Yeah, usually someone stinks.
Yeah, and it's been a fun run, and hopefully it continues on for everybody. But I'll tell you, now is the time to tell those kids, great job.
Yeah, well, I have it down. So, like Deacon Mace, 10.5 sacks. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
You see some of those sack guys in the state, 19, 20, but that
And he's done a lot of it playing half of games.
double teamed.
Double team, playing half
Yes.
of a game, and still be competing in that top thing there. And
Another guy, DJ Grammons, used to be a friendly foe, playing for
probably
Baghdad.
like to see him leave.
Glad to see him
Baghdad,
gone,
right?
yeah.
Wow, I was like, I was talking to Baghdad's coach before a game, and I was like, "What? DJ could have came to us, And he was like, "No, we're talking, but no, I'm super excited to see his success, and I know he's got another year. I think he's a junior, so I just wish him the best, and
Yeah, and I
great,
tell you, the way River Valley runs that ball, having as many backs as possible. I know they got a couple young kids too, but also it's so important for them to have an athletic, powerful lead back. And getting a kid like that was huge.
Yeah.
it was."
Absolutely. So that being said, congratulations, River Valley. Again, shout out. Thanks for the video. I like the pretty video. It makes me feel better. So I feel like it's more ESPN instead of
Yeah,
Huddle Flips. So
great.
moving on.
Pinion visited Kingman Academy. Well, they didn't visit Kingman Academy. They visited Kingman Academy in Winslow for Academy's senior night.
Yeah.
And it was a shootout. We do not have stats, unfortunately, because
There's no stats out of
There's no stats out of Kingman Academy.
It's unfortunate, too, because they have had some kids have some night games, and you don't score 34 points without some statistics.
Right.
And it is a unique situation to have your senior night on a neutral site field. Kind of a
What
rough
happened
deal.
there? Do we know?
So
I'm
their
not
senior
sure,
night.
But Kingman Academy is also who had the team who didn't want to travel through the storms, right?
Yeah, their original
Like-
senior night was supposed to be last week against Gray Hills, and Gray Hills canceled because of the weather in the Flagstaff area. So
Yeah, so
Interesting.
making the most out of a not great situation. And I mean, you guys probably experienced some unique things with your, you know,
Measles outbreak.
well, yeah, measles
measles,
outbreak,
yeah.
very long travel. We've had wild weather, you know, and then the smaller schools do have some different obstacles in terms of bodies, availability, things like
Yeah,
that.
field availability, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
And
We used to
so,
put chains on our bus tires where I'm from, so you know all about that. So I mean, what's bad weather? you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Well, and we kind of joked about it too, but then you see some of these flood situations, this and that, and you go, I get it.
I
You
get
know,
it,
You gotta
yeah.
do what you think is best, and
I mean,
you
we were-
probably have to make some of those tough decisions sometimes
Yeah,
about.
I mean, as the transportation guy, I hesitate to schedule Flagstaff games for basketball, like December, January, because you don't know when you're that far out what that particular day is going to look like. And Flagstaff is no joke. It's
Yeah.
you know, that elevation does cause some weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, we're not exactly cold weather people anyway. So. All right, so moving on. Unfortunately, not a lot. King McAdam, you got anything for us? By all means, send it in. We'd love to share it.
Yep.
But not a lot to talk about.
Our other Thursday game from last week, though, Mojave played Mingus Union, and Mojave was on the roll.
Yeah, Mojave was on the roll. We know Mingus is struggling a little bit this year. And we kind of joke about saying Cranebuell's name. And by all means, if I'm butchering it, I'm cool with that too. But I was listening to this, and this must be a very, very, very Caucasian broadcast crew because they butchered all these poor kids' names. You know,
no.
you got a Marentes in there, Villarreal. I mean, they just butchered all these Spanish names, and I just laughed because, you know, I don't know if you ever call like your credit card or something, or trying to say the names of the roads down here, or this, and they just butcher all these names. So I just laughed. It was so funny to me. But Mojave went up and just handled business. I mean,
Yep.
47-0. I think we do have a Mojave clip in there somewhere, Jeff.
Yes, from quarterback Joe Yoni, 14 for 19, 241 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and another 6 carries for 53 and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, Joe's
Yeah.
gotten healthy and gotten right
Yeah.
as the season went on.
Video 2. Yep.
And this is why Joe Yoni is hard to game plan for.
Yeah.
For everything that you can control, he does things like this, and he's done it since he was a freshman. So yeah, scrambles out.
Sets his feet. Great throw.
And I believe that's Jeremiah going downfield out of the backfield, making that play. Tough runner. Him getting healthy, coming back will be big. Oh, look like he's limping there.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah. Jeremiah had 7 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown as well. They spread the love with the touchdowns this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had spoken to a couple of Mojave guys, and, you know, they're not really set up to go in cruise control. You know, they fling it, they want to run it, and so they tried to pump the brakes a little bit, and just seemed like everything was working. And 47-0 going into a really big game, and their senior night coming up. So we'll talk about that. shortly
Mojave
in a little
did
bit.
fall to number 5, though, in the rankings from 4 last week, but still in first round bye range.
You
though.
know, we'll talk about the rankings a little bit collectively. You know, being 4 or 5 is great. You're in driver's seat. Control your own destiny. I believe they get a bye if they are in the top 8.
Correct, yes.
So that's even bigger for a team like that. And Lee Williams dropped in the rankings significantly.
Yes.
So that changes the dynamic of that game quite a bit. But
It's not about who you beat; it's who you lose to.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where we're picking up some more of these mysterious rankings.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But obviously, winning helps. But yeah,
Well, and
you have to
what
really
are they,
watch.
is that still called like a PowerPoint ranking or PowerPoint
Something like
system?
that, yeah.
And so you can win, do everything, and the team you beat week 1 loses 2 bad games, and suddenly you're dropping through no fault of your
Yeah.
own. And so it is a tough little thing, and that's why that impression of the AAA kind of just thrown together, whatever they throw together, feels that way. I know that when we got seeded in the playoffs a couple years ago, we were just scratching our heads at who we ended up playing. And but it is some unique formula.
And before we get too far, not off topic, but I mean, Yoni's got 2,400 plus total yards.
Yeah.
2,400.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, what do you want to stop him running? Are you going to stop him passing? Like, what are you going to do with this guy? And that's good to see. Like I said, I love seeing those guys. And there's a couple expatriates on that team. I give shout outs to. I mean, Pedro.
Yeah.
I mean, we see him in basketball. You know, we do summer stuff in basketball, and he's always there. And you know, I've talked with him a bunch, and he's a great kid, man. He truly loves the game.
Really a special athlete too.
Oh yeah, and then Andy Seviano, you know, I see all this hustle plays, you know.
Yeah, me too.
And,
I love it.
I see him in the gym sometimes, and he's working out, and he's put a lot of effort and work into himself and the love of football, and I just congratulate those
And, you
guys.
know, Andy's one of those guys who does not get a lot of attention, but when I watch that film and you see a play breaking down and Joe scrambling, he's one of the first guys 15 yards upfield as from a guard position. And then Pedro, when they were really banged up early, Pedro really carried the burden of moving that offense along with Joe. You know, I think Jeremiah was out. Urias was picking up the slack there. He got hurt.
Nathaniel was out.
Nathaniel was out. Tony was out, or at least not healthy. And Pedro stepped up in a big way, had some huge games, and got them through some of them rough patches. So it's really fun to see the small football world.
You know who I've seen in like that Get Active Media's clip. Shout out to Get Active Media. I mean, he was big for this area.
that.
I'm kind of bummed that he had to move, but
Did he move?
yeah, he had to move. I think he was in Ohio. I was like, dang man, you going Ohio? But
He did put a great spotlight on a lot of
he
games
did.
and kids. So.
And one kid that I always see on both sides of the ball, and I'm hopefully I'm not saying his name wrong, is Noah Anaya. I mean, I don't think he's any more than probably 170 pounds, but the dude is just everywhere. And the tackling looks, I mean,
So Noah
great.
has played center, I believe, since his freshman or sophomore year, and he's not a huge kid to start
Yeah.
with. And then he got in great shape, lost a bunch of weight, transitioned to linebacker, but you still need your center.
yeah.
And so he's playing both sides of the ball at a pretty high level. And yeah, Noah Nye is doing a great job. I mean, there's a whole list of kids here, and it's nice to see them getting
he's a
some
dog,
recognition
man.
from their peers in the football world.
When I see clips and stuff like Yoni's interception for a touchdown, and you see Andy running full speed down all the way to the end, like you love that. You love that as a coach to see guys
Yes.
pick up on that stuff, and you can't teach that
Yep. No.
to an extent, but I mean, Noah, man,
No.
he's
We all teach it.
Yeah.
But you
You
don't
don't
see
see
it.
it. Yeah.
You know, and then
Not
when you
everybody
see
picks
it,
it up.
it's awesome.
And then,
yeah, I agree completely.
and Deacon Perry, I mean, he's over 100 tackles. I mean, when you look at that stat, especially in high school football, I mean, kids making 60, 70 tackles in a year. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because kids are flying, you have to be almost in every tackle,
Yeah.
and to have over 100 with still, I think, they have 2 weeks left in the season.
Yeah. Just had 23 tackles in a game a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Playing really, really good ball. And he actually has like 3 or 4 interceptions.
Yeah, at linebacker.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, a lot of guys get attention, rightfully so. And I actually think it's great that you mentioned some of those guys because when I watch the film, and although I do know those guys, that's the same stuff I see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, attaboy Andy getting down there, you know, and you know, Deegan's just flying all over the field. Like, it's not always the you know, catching or running the touchdown that is always what contributes to the success.
When
It's the result of those things.
a lot of people ball watch.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, basketball, football, you ball watch and you kind of miss what's going on around it. That kind of makes that play happen.
Yep.
And, you know, shout out to Tyro. You know, we talk a lot about ball watch, and, you know, you see a lot when you don't ball watch, and you can really figure out, you know, what needs work, what doesn't. So, yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Shout out Tyro.
Yeah, shout out for last week with the bus, too. He got us in and out with
yeah.
some tires. We,
Oh,
Yeah.
Game saver, literally.
Yeah.
It's good to know a guy.
yeah.
For sure.
Very cool. So moving on.
Moving on, Dysart visited Kingman for their senior night. Sad one for Kingman, 42-13. DeAnthony had a little rough game, 3 interceptions throwing.
How many times did he attempt?
19.
Yeah.
9 for 19, 123.
I'm guessing they didn't want to throw it that many times. It's probably
Not
necessity.
really. Not really Kingman's thing to throw the ball, but
No.
yeah.
No, that's tough, and tough on a senior night. We knew Dysart was a tough team. We weren't really sure, how some of their wins stacked up to other games. But yeah, that's not the way you want to see, especially a kid like that. I know there's other good kids on that team. Perez kid.
Yeah, Perez did have a
3A?
40. This is 3A, yeah.
Okay.
Perez did have a 44-yard run though, so
Yeah,
there was some offense.
but see the kind of go out on that sour note. It's a little bit of a bummer, but that kid's had a heck of a run, good career, and if he chooses to, someone will let him play football somewhere
Yes,
else.
absolutely.
So,
He will find a spot somewhere
Yep.
if he decides to.
Yep, absolutely. And then, like I said, we thought Dysart was pretty tough.
Yeah.
And
And Coach King speaks very high of them. I agree. I think Dysart has improved a lot recently. They are one of the bigger enrollments of the 3A schools.
boy, there's some head scratchers in enrollments,
It's
aren't there?
it's everywhere.
I don't know how much you guys see, but we went
Yeah.
through it the other day, and we just pulled it up. And some of those schools that are 3A are
Yeah.
bigger than a lot of 4As, and some of those schools that are playing 4A are actually almost 6A enrollments. And
Well, we run into that issue because you look at some 1A schools and you're playing schools look at Hayden. They're going for a three-peat this year, 88, 89 kids in their high school.
Yeah.
With, I think they get pretty much every guy in their high school to play football,
Right.
which is
Meanwhile-
awesome. And then you look at teams that have 1,000 kids, and your
head
record doesn't
Yeah.
show it. But it's like, do you move those teams down because of talent, or they can't because of their enrollment?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, are these kids suffering because of where they're at, because of the school they're in? Then you got kids transferring, and then you don't even want to dip into the transfer rule around Arizona,
Right.
especially in this area. So it's as a coach, you kind of feel for a program, or you feel for the athletes and even coaches at some point. You're like, what more can you do?
yeah, it's tough, and I think we beat that horse to death on this show because it drives me crazy because it's not black and white.
Yeah.
We always use the Yuma Catholic example where
Yes.
you have Kofa up the road with 4 times as many kids,
Kofa, Yuma,
but Yuma Catholic
Cibola.
is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Same area, completely different enrollments, wildly different results. It's not as black and white as either one of those things. So it is tough. I'm sure that they do the best they can to, put teams in the right place and make it competitive, but some of them are a little rough.
Yeah, no, it's still just, I still remember in the back of my head when I first started coaching at the academy back in 2013, like Northwest Christian and Yuma Catholic were in 2A
Yeah.
on the same field as us and them. Yeah, it's not the same playing field.
And then Yuma Catholic moves on to either win or
Yeah.
be dominant in 4A just a couple years later.
Yeah, and now here they are in 5A, yeah.
Yeah. Is that where they're at now? Good. Stay there.
Yeah.
All right. Desert Star Trivium Prep.
This was a game for a bit. It was a 13-12 halftime score, but fortunately Trivium showed up in the second half and kind of pulled away. This was a big one for them, unfortunately. Desert Star was kind of just right there, 4 spots out of the playoff, but they fought well.
They're a
Tough
young
one.
team.
Yeah.
Still young.
Yeah. Very young. We have their.
We do have their senior
We have
list.
their senior night roster. So
Yeah.
blank.
It's a blank paper.
Is
Yes.
there anyone on it? No?
There is nobody on it.
Okay.
It's a freshman heavy squad.
Yeah,
Yes.
freshman heavy, and then I believe, you guys would know having, so much.
4 juniors, I believe.
Yeah, but you guys are involved in the middle school program, playing their middle school program's good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In fact,
always tough. It's
Their
always
middle
tough.
school program went through the season, didn't give up a single point.
Right.
Oh, I know
They're
another
the number
middle
one
school
seed
program that
heading
did
into
that.
the playoffs, obviously, but that's impressive
Yeah.
at any level.
We
So we always say the future's pretty bright out there, Desert Star. They're going through some tough growing pains getting into that, high school football world. But
We've
But
battled.
you got to start somewhere.
We
Yeah.
battled a lot back when I coached middle school for that. What was that Highway 95
that
trophy?
I haven't seen that trophy. I don't know
It's
where
no, but I mean,
we had it for a
they've
while.
always had good athletes, and I'm glad when they moved up and had that high school. And I, as someone who started at a program where we've been down and out and built our way up to where we are now, that program has a bright future. And Jacob Williams,
yeah,
I mean, he's got 1,500 total yards, 846 of them are passing. I mean, I don't know if he's a junior or a sophomore.
Junior.
Yeah, I
He's a
believe
junior?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got a great leader for next year, those guys to rally behind. And
Yeah, they got tough little running back. They got a couple guys on defense. They got a young, big fella on that line, but they got some small guys, little maulers. I mean, they got all the pieces. They gotta get older.
Gavin Canning, right?
Yeah, Gavin
Good
Canning.
running back.
Yep.
And 2A's no joke. I mean,
No,
you look at 2A and you're like, but there are some teams that, I mean, are always up there. And I know Trivium's been up on the up and up. And I know they got a couple good athletes. I think his name's
Ben Wolfley.
Ben Wolfley. Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays basketball too, and we are 2A in basketball. So there's some athletes that we see who, they just got to put the pieces
When I went out
together.
and watched whatever game it was that had the lightning delay. And
Oh,
I'm out
Mountainside,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and so they didn't have that many kids, but they had a couple of very high-end athletes. Kids 6'4", 6'5", playing D-line, went back to the O-line. I mean, that's a pretty high-end athlete. We talk about the kid Drake, the night kid, and that kid's a game wrecker. I mean, if you unleash him in the right place, and that team had a couple kids like that. And so there's a lot of, and that goes back to where we talk about seeding, a little bit of misperception of, what the A's are. There are some very, very good 2A, 3A teams that you wouldn't think would be where you find some of those guys.
It's tough when you get someone, like Drake Knight. As weird as that sounds, because you want to put him in the spot where he's going to excel the most. But if you don't, because you have other guys around him, that you'd have to find that spot for him. Like, the kid could play D-end. Kid could play nose. Plays guard. He play tight end, he play receiver. Probably could play quarterback. But you can move him around. He's just an athlete. And like I said, it just comes down to where everyone else falls around these guys that makes them shine.
That's where it's really easy to be a coach and just put people in the right places all
Right,
the time, right?
right, yeah.
Super easy. So,
Definitely.
we talked about Noah Naya. We knew Noah was a talented linebacker earlier, but when we were there, it was just so hard to give up your center to both sides of the ball. You don't get your center, you don't get your offense moving. Then you got to move like a Cyrus over, and then your other tackle positions exposed. And I know it stunk. I know Noah wanted to play defense way more, and I fought him on it for years. And I holding him back because he's killing it at linebacker. But it wasn't because I didn't believe in him. It was, man, the team needs this.
Yeah.
And it's tough to sell sometimes. So, Coach, what you got for us next?
So moving on, we got Coconino versus Lee Williams. Senior night for them. This was one they needed, and unfortunately, they did not pull it out. Coco won 28-12, and also some injury issues with Lee Williams.
Boy.
Morgan Quinn had to
Talk
leave
about
the
timing.
game. Yeah, Morgan Quinn had to leave the game early with an injury. It sounds like he's done for the year. And then their second stringer, Landon Donwingo, also had to leave the game with an injury. Sounds like he will not be able to play next week.
Yeah, that's
So-
tough. That's real tough. I don't know when they went out in that game. I mean, they're going to have to rely on their running game even more than they were
Yes.
already, especially going into this game this week. And we actually do have a bit of a highlight.
We
from
do
that
have
game.
our hit of the week.
We've been wanting to introduce a hit of the week, and we didn't think it'd come from the offensive side of the ball.
That's always something.
Clip 3, Jeff.
Yeah, if you got
Yeah.
this, this is not how I thought this was going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know who this young man is on the receiving end, but
I want to say this is Cooper. Yeah, just ran that kid over,
and the next one.
and the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really thought the hit of the week. I think our last one, which we didn't publish, I think was maybe an offensive play also.
Yeah.
But I've seen some really big hitting in some of these games, especially like that rain game.
Yeah.
I mean, people just teeing off, going forward. Everybody knew it was run.
Yeah, William Steele had some great hits in that
Great
game.
hits
yeah.
in that game, and then we catch that, and you tell like you gotta wrap up, you gotta drive. You tell them every cliche in the book, but sometimes the train's coming through, and
Well, there's not a lot of look at, hey, offensively, you're looking to run someone over.
Yeah.
Defensively, I feel like some of these, I guess you would say these guys are just, I guess, are worried at some point of, what is going to be a targeting call, what is going to be an illegal hit, because that is such a huge stigma of like protecting these guys. And when you do your coaching test at the beginning of the year, and they preach tackling, safety, and but there's not one saying like, hey, when you're running the ball, you can't lower your head. You can't try to run this guy over.
It's such a heavy emphasis on the defensive side. And at some point, that pendulum will swing to where defenders, I wouldn't ever say are defenseless, but they're playing at a disadvantage. Especially I think they even changed, maybe this is a pro rule, not a high school rule, but to where you can't even necessarily go low on a lineman when you're taking on a block. And so now you're telling a 150-pound kid to go take on a 300-pound lineman out in space and just to basically get run over. Like, hey, go get run over. And that's not safe either.
No.
So maybe at some point some logic will apply, but it is the reality that everyone knows, but no one likes to say is it's a physical game. Yeah. There's danger involved. I mean, I think everyone knows when you put a helmet, shoulder pads on, what you're signing up for. You play as safely as you can. You try to take out some of the uglier parts of it, but
I have noticed crackbacks have been a lot less this year, and a lot of guys are really respecting the rule. Coming in hands first, and there are still crackbacks legally. Yeah. But it's I mean, hats off to the refs too. They do have a lot, and I feel like this year there's been a lot more of well-called games, and there's a good respect around the players, the refs. It's been a good year. I feel like for us, we've had good times.
And every time they change a rule, there's an adjustment period for them.
Yeah.
And everybody wants NFL level where they have 9 officials, a guy from
cameras,
New York calling, 8 review options. And the reality is these are guys who probably carpooled to a game together with no video assistance, hoping everybody showed up. You don't always have the full spectrum of refs. Like if you ever watch a playoff game, you're like, wow, why all these referees here? Well, that's the full amount. But the reality is there's a referee shortage. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
We were down
I
that's
see
why-
more Thursday, Saturday games.
Yeah.
Right. So what we see a lot of times at the 1A level, we typically have a 5-man crew. Sometimes we get short,
4.
And get 4. But there's times they'll ship them in from Parker, Williams, or it's not always local guys that are covering these games. They've had us move some of the games to either a Thursday or a Saturday, not just home games, but a couple of Salome, I think we had, or they tried to. Anyway, there's a referee shortage. You're absolutely right, and so we try to get, not just in football, we encourage our seniors as they're leaving to go communicate with the AIA, get signed up and become a ref. It's a good part-time gig.
Yeah.
If you are an athlete, you're already familiar with
You got
some
a couple
of the rules.
good mouth-grown officials down there.
We do, and it's something we do on purpose.
Yeah, I saw Casey out there.
Maisie, Casey,
Yeah.
Casey, Jonah's one of
I
ours.
think she was
Jonah.
out at the rain game. I wonder. Every time I see her, I like to give her a bunch of crap, and she does not tolerate it at all.
Yeah.
I see her basketball games before the game even starts, and I'm just talking crap, and she just does not tolerate it at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully she knows that I find it hilarious.
Well, and she, was telling me she signed up to do flag, which she wasn't super knowledgeable about, but she's happy to do it. And I think they kind of talked her into doing boys football, at least a game or two. And hats off to her. She's willing to do it. She's, her heart's in it for kids to be able to come out and play sports. And
She is a good basketball official. I know that
for sure. She's great.
Yeah.
But if these officials aren't out there, we don't play games.
Right.
For sure. I think we're at the point where we just give every parent a flag and let them call the game from the stands.
Tons
right?
of
every
experts.
play, just
Yes.
a sea of flags coming down.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Coach?
Moving on, last game, Yunker visited Lake Havasu for their homecoming. Havasu got the win 36-19. Unfortunately for Lake Havasu, Trip Burke does sound like he's done for the year with a broken collarbone injury.
Man,
Sad to see for that kid. Had a really great year at quarterback this year, but your boy was back at QB.
that's right, slanging it.
The one thing we can't say about Havasu is they might be the only team in the county with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
And there is some benefit to having gotten some reps early in the year when the kid was out. Clearly, they really wanted Tripp to be distributing the ball,
Right.
running the offense the way they want. But sometimes you gotta put the gunslinger out there and let him slang it. So,
And
that's what we got out of.
Yep. We got our play of the week this week, clip 4.
Got it?
Yep. Great throw here by Halo to Our boy, I think it was Carter.
I'm not sure who.
Nope, it
Havasu's
was
had some guys really
Koa,
have great
yeah.
seasons, and they've, I think as a coach, it's not always the way you drew it up; it's the way you adapt in the moment.
Right.
Yeah. Here
Yeah.
we go. Oh, we cut Halo out, but
Yeah.
little scramble, little jump ball.
Great throw by Halo, and just nice high point by Koa Stanina there for the touchdown. Moss the kid. Just congrats to that young
That
man.
is one of those ones. If we had that great rear camera view with the better, that would look amazing. But congratulations on our play of the week. And Havasu's had a pretty darn good year this year, and you hate to hear them losing a quarter. I mean, it's a theme right now. It's health. It's health.
Right.
It's always health. And they really rolled well with that kid at quarterback. But I know that they're not shy of throwing it with whoever they got back there.
No, they are not. Havasu is the one team in this county that loves to throw the ball. 10 for 17, 100 yards for Halo, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Solid game from Luke Johnson, 4 touchdowns on 12 carries, 71 yards.
And was that Spencer Barra?
Spencer
Another
Barra,
interception?
another interception, tied the single season record for interceptions at Lake
Yep,
Havasu.
absolutely. And I don't think I sent you those clips, Jeff. I'm sorry. But kid's made some really great plays. I mean, he plays the ball well, high points it. Not the biggest kid, but plays the position so well. And 6 interceptions in a season at a true corner position is a pretty good job.
big.
Very impressive.
Absolutely. So, very exciting stuff. Congratulations, fellas. Man, Tripp, hate to hear it, buddy.
Wish for
He's
the
had
best,
a rough
bud.
year, but when he's had
Yeah.
his moments, he's looked great.
Yeah.
Is he a senior?
He is a junior. He will be
Junior,
back next
perfect.
year. Yeah.
So he'll be back, and if I know anything, we'll get him in the weight room with Coach Jeff Smith, put some meat on his bones. I don't know if he's a big kid or not.
He'll be just fine. Yep.
Yeah.
So moving on, we got our previews and picks. What is the standings currently at, Jeff? I believe things have changed immensely. Yeah, yikes. There goes
go.
my 3-game lead.
My strategy
Shane
paid
went to
off.
the lead, and look at the public. The public's
public-
kicking
the
everybody.
public
Listen,
is
we
gaining
don't talk
too.
about the public.
I am not
Listen.
buying a steak for the public.
Well,
Yeah. Well, listen, we have some real crucial week coming up here, and we're gonna run out of games, so we're real close to a steak dinner somewhere.
Yeah, no. So I
So,
assume that we're going to continue this into the playoffs.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
All right, until the season ends. All right, good to hear.
Well, I'll tell you, we talked about it when we started this, and we thought, man, if some team gets in a playoff, makes a run, how fun will it be to document it through, all these
Right.
these shows and whatnot. And here we are, and it's shaping up.
Yeah, we got 5 of the 8 looking like they have a chance at the playoffs
Yeah,
right now. Yeah.
absolutely. So let's jump right into it.
All right, so our first poll, Kingman Academy is visiting Coronado for their season finale. The people like Kingman Academy, and I do too. Coronado is not good, guys. I think Coach Windecker and company are going to take care of business, finish the season on a high note.
We've had a few games where the team had not yet scored in the season,
Yes.
and we tried to, as nicely as possible, say, I don't think this is the game they're going to start scoring. I don't know a lot about Coronado, but I'm going Kingman Academy. They do have some talent. They do have some athletes. Put some points up last week.
It's great for a program to end on a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
absolutely.
Kingman Academy is kind of in a way sort of a sister school, charter schools. We both showed up together around the same time 20 plus years ago. Who do you guys like in this game?
We've had plenty of battles with Kingman Academy, back in our 1A days, 2A
The 1A days, the CAA days. I remember
CAA
those.
days,
Yeah.
through basketball, football, all that. I'm going to go with Kingman Academy.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
agree. I have a lot of respect for their sports program in general. They've got Trent as their new AD.
Yes.
I think he's doing a solid
Trent
job.
Trent Graff is a great guy. I coached with him for 4 of my 6 years at Kingman High. Fantastic dude. I'm so glad that he got the AD position there. It's the ceiling is the roof for that program.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, got to go with the academy.
Yeah. So moving on, our next poll, Jeff.
Boy, this week's tough. There's so many of my favorite games because the Desert Star
Yes.
Senior Night is up there for me.
Yes.
Hey.
Who did the people pick on Desert Stars senior night, Jeff? Oh, no, wrong one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Woo!
It's this one.
Resounding.
No, it's not.
What number?
It should be number 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's where I missed it.
Yeah. There we go. And the people like Desert Star. I do know Coach Hemming at Heritage from his time at Trivium and before that Shadow Mountain. I love love Coach Clark and his boys to death, but I'm taking Heritage in this one on their not-so-senior night.
Listen, senior night magic is a real thing. I'm going Desert Star. Where's my camera, Argonda?
Okay, hold on.
Senior night list right here.
Okay.
Boom.
Nothing.
Let's go. Desert Star.
Hey, I'll take Desert Star. Why not?
That's
Why
what I
not,
like to
guys?
hear.
Why not? Go out there and do your thing.
Let it all go.
Yeah.
And the season on a high.
I agree. Coach Clark, DSA Titans.
Yeah, and they moved to a Thursday and
Yes.
they are at home.
They will be playing tomorrow at home, yeah. I will not be able to attend that game. You might be able to, though.
I might be able to attend that game, and I really enjoy going out and watching. They got a lot of really good things to like. I said one of the things that's tough is they're just young. Not a lot of juniors, no seniors, but man, they play fun ball. They got good coaching staff, great energy, and it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Good
that,
food.
that-
Definitely good food.
Good food, okay.
That food truck is great, yeah.
It's fun to watch these programs, very much like Malk at one point was, emerge, start, and you can see where it's going.
Right.
Right. You guys are in the, but you're in the middle of it all now. But at one point, it was an up and coming, and it's fun to see where they're at now, and you can kind of project where they're going.
Right,
And
like
it's
you
fun to watch.
You see them now, like they're at the park, and they got a great little setup there, but like they have plans for the field. I still remember like going to high school at the academy, and Malk was at Firebird Field before they installed the Fiesta turf. And that
The
was
dirt field.
that was the one
Dirt
place
rock,
that I
baby.
could say confidently was worse than Southside Park.
Yep. That's not an ideal situation.
And to see where you guys have gone now with what I would argue is one of the better home field advantages in the county, it is great to see.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. A lot of fun. So it moves us to.
Kingman is visiting Wickenburg. We have talked about Wickenburg a lot on this show for reasons.
Good, bad, and everything in between.
Yes.
And they're having a tough go of it.
Yep. I love Coach Carr to death, and I'm rooting for those kids, but I got Kingman this week,
Yep.
and so do the public.
Yeah, I think the kid coming off a tough game, he's too good an athlete not to have back-to-back tough games. So I'm going Kingman as well. Plus, I got to just stay a little ahead of you.
Just a little bit.
Strategy shifts now.
Yeah. Who do you guys like?
Kingman, I'm gonna go with the public on this one. For what I know of Wickenburg, I know first time ever being in Wickenburg High School last year of basketball season, and a lot of history there. Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of history.
Proud
but
history out there.
It is, and I know they do have a good foundation, and I do know they're working through some problems, but right now I'm gonna go with Kingman.
All right.
I agree. Kingman it is.
We should have told you guys, when in doubt, default to the locals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good.
You'd be sitting in the Perkins, and we give you a dirty look. Like, did I pick against the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So moving on, we have River is visiting number 10 River Valley. They got moved up to number 10, two
Very
spots out of a
good,
home
very
playoff
good.
game. Is visiting number 7 Payson. The people, Jeff, like River Valley a lot.
Man.
And I concur. I think this will be a tough road game for them, but I think River Valley will take care of business.
And I'll say I think that this is obviously this is not how close they think the game is. It's who they think will win. Because
Right.
I think it's going to be a tougher game than people think.
I do believe it'll be close.
Payson has had some tough games. They played some tough opponents, and they played good football. I went back and looked through some of their wins and some of their other things. I think River Valley wins. I think River Valley borderline needs to win, and I think they're rolling right now. I mean,
They are rolling.
They got through their little rough patch. They're pretty healthy. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. I know there's some illness going through the football world here. I think we're
Right.
seeing it in the schools in general. But River Valley's rolling. They got a lot of momentum, and that group is, I think, going to go down there and handle business.
There's one thing I know about road games. Run games travel.
I was just
And-
in defense too.
Yeah, defense too. And River's defense and run game is the best right now in the county.
And I know we've sang the praises of Deacon all year. There's a kid on the other side. I apologize. I don't remember his name. I had actually talked to a couple other people about it. Stepped up big because that team really tried to go away from Deacon's side of the ball. And I think it was first or second play of the game. That kid went up, had a big hit or a big sack, and kind of let him know, hey, you're not gonna be able to just dictate away from
Right.
Deacon in this game. And it really probably
Try me.
yeah.
Go
You're
ahead,
gonna
try
have,
me.
okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to it's not going to be a walk in the park, and you know, I think that is good for that team, that kids like that are stepping up, moving into those roles, growing as the season goes, and that makes for a tough game. I'm going River Valley.
All right.
I'm a little bummed, though. I don't know if we're going to get the great video if they're playing so far away. I don't know if
a good
everybody.
point,
I know
yeah.
they travel well, but that's a
That's a
travel.
drive. That's a drive.
That's a travel. Yeah.
Who do you guys like?
I think I'm gonna have to college game day this and
You gonna
put
Pat
on
McAfee us?
put on my River Valley hat here. Hey, Dust Devils, man, they're gonna play some smash mouth football, and why not take on number 7? Why just go out there and do your thing, guys?
On the road, upset.
If you stand on that
Make it
chair
happen.
and take your shirt off, it's not a stable chair.
Okay.
That's all I want to tell you.
Well, I told my wife I would not take any clothing off here today, so no.
Be
River
great
Valley.
for our ratings. That's all. It's funny, you get all these, you know, they got Dave Portnoy acting crazy, Pat McAfee acting crazy, you had Lee Corso acting crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny because college used to be so buttoned up and professional, and guys out there look like going to a Wall Street job, and now you got a bunch of wild guys out there, a bunch of wild yinzers out
Hey,
there.
if I knew their fight song or something, we'd start yelling that right now. Yeah, I got River Valley.
Love it.
All right, so moving on to our next one. Havasu moved up to number 8, which is in the bye range for 4A. They will be visiting number 22, Estrella Foothills. This is a big game for them because Estrella Foothills has 2 losses to Yunker and Deer Valley, which is interesting because Havasu, they lost on missed the field goal against Deer Valley last week and 2 weeks ago. And then last week they beat Yunker fairly handedly.
Yeah.
This is a big one for them. I think they need to win both of these last 2 games to stay in that bye range. Havasu clearly, though, has a playoff spot at a minimum, a home game. I like Lake Havasu to go down to Estrella Foothills and take care of business.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you that quarterback situation makes this one tougher. I think it's a no-brainer previously. I think Havasu is still playing. We've seen them where they've gone down a quarterback and they figured it out. Defense has stepped up, played better all year. And going my boy at quarterback. So I'm going to take Havasu, but it's going to be tighter than I would have previously thought. I think they're going to be a little limited, and then the more you strain your defense, the longer your defense on the field, it gets a little tougher every time.
Yeah. The other interesting thing with Havasu is, like, with Halo at quarterback, that pocket moves.
Yeah.
It's a little more of a pocket passing with Burke, but with Halo, like, he gives you so much time to get receivers
he doesn't
open.
really scramble. He stays
Yeah.
locked and loaded, looking to throw.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's probably an opportunity as teams adapt to how he plays to scramble. He's an athlete, he's a wide receiver by position, to take some of those shots. I don't know if they're that thin at quarterback behind him that it's just not worth the risk. But you get down to these late season games and they matter, and you can't really hold back at that point. So curious to see how that one goes. But yeah, I'm taking. Havasu's had a great year. I think they keep rolling.
I agree. Who do you guys like?
You said Havasu's quarterback's out, right?
Yeah,
So they have the gunslinger in? Or
they
he
have
was-
they have
okay.
Halo Jump, the gunslinger, yeah.
Okay.
We
guns-
called him the gunslinger. I don't know
Hey,
what anybody else calls him.
Listen, a gunslinger is always he's just gonna sling it. I don't think if he makes a mistake, interception, I think he's still gonna throw it then. Knights all the way. I'm going Knights.
All right.
I like a gunslinger.
I think
Yeah.
coach is going to be locked in. You got that number 8. You know what's at stake. If you don't prepare properly, I don't see them losing focus on this one.
Congratulations, coach, on the 100th win, by the way. That was big. That's
Let's
big.
go for 102 this week.
Yes,
Well, yeah,
sir.
102. It's got to be weird being like, all right, 101. 102.
Hey, we're just trying to get to 50 now.
How many more you got till 100?
Coach called in.
A lot.
What was really cool when he called in is that he remembered win 1 with great detail.
Yeah.
It was very fun. He's like, yeah, we lost a tough one to this. They had a really good player that. Then we did this, and then we finally pulled out that first one against. And it was like, dude, how cool was that? Like,
Yeah.
I still remember my first win.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great
Who was the
time.
first win?
San Pasquale,
Ah.
2019.
Hell yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I think
Very
it was,
cool.
we called it the toilet bowl because we were both like, I think 0-8 or 0-7 at the time.
Not after that game.
Not after that game. No.
Yeah.
So that takes us to we're going to have to get your thoughts on this next one, fellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What you got, Coach?
We have Desert Heights Prep is visiting Mojave Accelerated for the first round of the 1A playoffs. Number 8
man.
versus number 9. I know we're not going to ask you guys to pick. We're just going to That's perfectly fine. I totally understand.
Choose your words, what? I'm just kidding.
Even though they are playing them back-to-back weeks, I like Mojave Accelerated in this game. I think they will take care of business. Mojave Accelerated is healthy right now, and they are looking sharp on the offensive side of the ball.
So, a couple things. Healthy. You don't have the surprise. You now have a game plan, and you have experience against both quarterbacks. So, whoever it is, you're ready for it. And then that home cooking is a real thing at Mount. Those stands are usually pretty raucous.
Yeah.
Whoever's running the audio is usually pretty on point.
Yeah.
And you don't have a half-a-day bus ride.
And the people like Mojave Accelerated a lot, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously, coming off of the win, it seems obvious, but in most cases, playing back-to-back is tough. Like, us Steeler fans, how many times you beat the Ravens twice, and then you got to play them a week later in the playoffs, and it's like a different game. You learn so much from your opponent, you adapt, you figure things out. We don't talk about it too much right now, but
No.
but yeah, it's usually to beat a team multiple times in a year is usually tough. I think this one's in your favor.
Thank you.
Make us look good.
Yeah, well, and I was going to tell you too, don't judge last week by the score
Right.
or even the score margin. I mean, I was there, I was on the sideline with them, and we, at least for me personally, I didn't feel confident and comfortable until like the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And that was when we were in the 20-something point lead. Like, I kept going up and down to kids like, hey, keep the foot on the gas. This is not over.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got to outscore them today. And so, like he was saying, the quarterback who stepped in, that kid had some legs. That kid could break tackles. I mean, he could be on the 2-yard line and go run for 98 yards on the next play. So they were never out of it. It was, I think, a closer matchup on the field than the score indicates.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's kind of how I felt. So, props to them and their team, because never did they say, we're out of it, we quit.
It is the impressive thing about 1A, like even in the AIA where it's a shortened field, like it's still a very offensive game. Because like my experience with 8-man before the AIA was the CAA days when we used the whole field. And it made sense we had these 100-plus score games. I still remember there was this thing when I was in high school, we had in the CAA there was the Mauk rule, where if you were up like 60 points at the end of the third quarter, you didn't play the fourth quarter, because Mauk beat a team like 102-0.
Well, it's wild because I'd say like 90% of the fields we play on are 100-yard fields. There's only, I think, a few fields out there that we've played on that are true 80-yard fields. So you're still getting that length. I mean, it is shorter width,
Yeah.
but
It's
I mean,
narrower.
Yeah.
when you are missing 3 other guys, it's still basically the same, like when you're missing those guys, but
Sounds like a lot of running to me, guys.
Yeah.
it is, and it
It
can
is.
be a lot of passing too. It can be a lot of passing, and we did play 176 plays in that game. I mean, it was 10 o'clock at night with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, so anything can happen. Literally, anything can happen, and I know they're going to bring their best. So.
That is another thing that impressed me about 1A is like it is very pass happy. Like with the exception of the 2A conference, everyone's pass happy. You wouldn't think that with the 8-man schools, these smaller enrollments, these smaller teams. But seeing you guys, Baghdad, Williams, like you guys huck the ball around.
Yeah, you play that by, I think, every year. It's, what guys you have. When you're blessed with, a Honegger for the last, I feel like, decade, those guys are always
Great ball
athletes.
skills.
You have someone to throw to, and then you look at other times where you get someone who tree trunks his legs, wants to run the ball. You got like an Ivan Sia, you got an Ian David back there, a Martina Bundes, who's also a younger guy for us, or a Torres. You want to hand that ball off. So I feel like we've mixed it up a lot this year with staying pretty even. But yeah, it's 1A is definitely
I
special.
find out that as much as I talk about loving to throw it, the minute I'm responsible for it, I'm like, you should run the rock, boys.
Bring in the fullback.
Outside zone, inside zone, outside zone, inside zone.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny because you really just boil it down to possessions and collecting first downs and not giving them the ball, and boy, running sure looks appealing. But then you get somebody who can fling it, somebody can catch it, and you get super excited. And, but it's pretty funny. I was watching that Westminster game, and I think they wanted to run it, but they got new quarterback, and they were flinging it, and people were like, "Oh, this is kind of awesome."
Yeah, and a lot of times too, the game dictates that.
Right.
We're all coaches up here, and like you referenced whatever game it was earlier, I don't recall, but where they had 19 pass attempts, which normally they have 10. But
Right.
when you're in the fourth quarter and you're down, sometimes you can't keep it on the ground.
Right.
So that all plays into it too.
Yeah, yeah, it really does, and I think we see that in some of the scores. Like, I don't know how that Kingman game went, but I can't imagine they wanted to pass it that much. They must have went down, had to throw it a little bit out of necessity, and that's
Right.
not really what they want to do, and that really throws your game plan out. So,
Yeah.
That being said, takes us to our game of the week.
Lee Williams versus Mojave, number 24 versus number 5, senior night for Mojave with all of this giant list of seniors, but Lee got dropped to 24 after the Coca loss, which,
Well, we were a week away from this. Had they won that game, this would have been like a 5-7 game
Yes.
or a 5-9 game or something like that.
I mean, they were this close to beating Bradshaw. You had the injuries against, and that's kind of the sad thing is like we built this game up over the last couple of weeks, and then Friday
this was
night,
shaping up to be
yes,
the game
of the year,
Yeah.
and then Coco just kind of took the wind out of our sails on Friday.
But listen, I'll tell you what, I don't actually think it changes it that much.
You don't think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. I think Mojave's DBs are pretty nasty, and they're healthy, so they're going to have some combination of Joe out there at safety, Tony, Caesar, Pedro, Nathaniel. Do you really want to throw the ball against that group?
That's a good point.
And I will say with all due respect, like, they take shots. Lee Williams likes to take shots, but they don't really want to live in their passing game. They want the running back to run it 30 times for 200 yards, control the clock, keep them off the field, and I think that forces them to commit to that game plan even more.
I mean, we are talking about what I would argue is the best running back in the county right now, and Lucas
He's been
Least.
really good,
Yeah.
and he's extremely durable. He's running 20, 30 times a game, and catches a bump or a bruise and just keeps on going. The kids who you want to ride to that win. So I don't think it changes the game as much as you think. Obviously, you don't want to be on your third string quarterback. And the reality is I think if you get in a shootout with Mojave, you don't really like your chances anyway. So that defense is going to have to step up. And I will say this, Coach Regan has watched Mojave, coached against Mojave, going back to River Valley, sitting in the stands watching. He knows them inside and out. He knows what they like to do. He knows what formations they like to do it out of. And this is just me having sat in the stands next to him. I mean, this is just his football brain. Well, now he's going out and strategizing all week about it. I think you're going to see a pretty good game. That being said, I'm Mojave all the way.
Oh, shocker. Shocker.
I'm Mojave all the way. They are catching some momentum. They are getting healthy. And those are my boys. I'm riding, dying all year long.
I have said that betting against Lee Williams has been a bad decision. I still have nightmares of the Prescott game. But I do think if they control the clock, they limit the turnovers, and they just keep the ball out of Yoni's hands, I think Lee Williams will come away with the victory in the field house. I think Coach Reagan is the one person that can stop Mojave. So I got Lee.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for Coach Reagan. Obviously he was down here, in Bullhead area for a long time. Now he's up there. Definitely knows football, like you're telling everybody. But I can't go against Mojave on their senior night. No way. I mean, some of those kids, I don't know the list of seniors, and doing this for year after year after year, the years kind of blend together. But I guarantee there's some Malk middle school kids on that list, and I would never root against those guys.
Yep. That's kind of how I feel about rooting for them.
T-Birds, baby.
Yeah. I'm going with it, and I will give you that list of Mojave seniors. And we watched that clip. You can game plan all you want. How do you game plan for plays like that?
Good point.
You can scheme, you can dial it up, but at the end of the day, if they run that read option, that kid on the end has to make a play on Joe. He's got to make a play on Joe. And once you lose that containment, it's chaos. And they have 5 or 6 guys who run like that, and they're throwing the ball well right now. I don't know that they have been tested throwing the ball to the level they're going to be tested with this group here. And like I said, Tony is healthy finally. Nathaniel's back and healthy. Pedro is healthy. Jeremiah's as healthy as he's been all year. Joe doesn't have stitches on his hand. like those early games where he's struggling. He's handing the ball off with his, his throwing hand on opposite sides. This is as good as they're going to get. The one that really hurts that's out is Tristan Urias with a broken foot or ankle. He was an absolute, run stopper for them. But then you talk Noah Nye and Deacon Perry in the middle. Like, you have some run stoppers.
Yeah.
So that list of seniors is Pedro Morentes, Anthony Moses, Adrian Loya, Nathaniel Villarreal, Alejandro Ruiz, Cesar Rodriguez, Frank Enrique, Joe Yoni Jr., Tristan Urias, Jacek Richardson, David Zendejas, Deegan Perry, Andrew Robles, Gavin Holmes, Cyrus Angulo Briscoe, Noah Naya, Andrew Silviano, and Caden Tejada.
Couldn't have said it better
I have
myself.
never seen that many seniors on a Mojave football team, and let alone them to have the success and experience that they've had. So I am excited. I literally changed my visiting Benjamin travel plan so I can go out and see those guys on their senior night. And listen, I hope they come away with the win.
I don't know much about Lee Williams, but one thing I do know is it's like any given Friday. You can know what they're doing, you just got to stop it.
Yeah.
You got to stop it. So I think that those Mojave seniors, and I feel like they'll get the job done.
Yeah, and of that, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them start somewhere on the field, offense or defense. So that's pretty unheard of for local football. You don't typically have that many senior-heavy teams. So really, really going to be a good one at the field house, senior night for Mojave. Our game of the week, Lee Williams has been, the darling all year. They got bit by the injury bug at the worst time.
Their backs
What a
are
game.
against the ball. Their backs are against the wall. This is a must-win for them, especially with how far they dropped in the rankings if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. It's no longer talking about a home playoff game, and now it's talking about making the playoffs, which
Yeah.
I think is a goal for Coach Regan in his first
Yeah,
year.
absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say I bet you their expectations were very much this, but they have done a great job with that team, and I am actually very curious to watch the game plans play out, in real time and see what they want to do, how they want to do it, and I think it's going to be all that offensive talk, all that Joe Yoni. I think what it actually comes down to is if they can stop the run. If they can stop the Lee Williams run, it's going to be a rough night.
It's always rough, like coaching. I would love to, be able to go and just sit and watch a Mojave game, a River Valley game, just just for the experience. But always being busy on a Friday night, or Thursday, it's difficult. But I really like to hear the good things from all these guys, and sitting here, it's been awesome, and
Yeah.
looking at stats, and these guys put so much of their lives and dedicate the time, and I wish they could all be successful because at the end of the day, these are high school
They're
boys.
teenagers,
They're teenage boys,
Young
and
men.
and that's why I think football is so good. They learn so much about loss, winning, banding together, wrongs and rights, and it's such a good thing and a blessing to be around all
Those
the time.
Mojave guys have been my guys since they were kids, right? And they're probably, I'm probably not going to say anything that they don't know that they don't like hearing, is they have been their own worst enemy at times. And some of the things I've heard from some of the coaches is about how much they have matured or grown up or come out of some of those childish ways. And not being there kind of breaks my heart, but hearing it makes me super happy. Hearing that they're coming out the other side of some of those knucklehead, youthful things. And it's what you're supposed to do as a young man. When you're 15, 16-year-old knucklehead, you're supposed to be on your way to being a young man. And so to hear that from the coaching staff about some of those guys growing up and coming there really, really makes me happy. And I assume that everyone wants to see that same trajectory of some sort. So we're going to end on a little bit of a fun note. I don't know if you guys follow the youth football world at all here locally, but the Toros, Jeff, do you have that Toro
Video 5.
local football group? These young kids are being more future players. Great play by this young man here. Look at what he's doing.
Raider Stadium.
Somebody told me somebody's grandkids.
That's awesome.
Give these kids a little bit of time to
That's awesome. I
What a fun experience. I don't know, like, I don't know, stadium back in the day, and that was so cool. And all we got to do was stand there. I think it was baseball season, so we stood behind home plate. And these guys, look at this. What a cool picture.
mean, yeah, they'll remember that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you
They'll
get a chance
remember
to play at
that
Heinz
forever.
Field. You know, you win Whippeals
Ruin
or
that
make it.
grass.
You get to, you get to go there.
Yeah, they even did a little like fun logo update for it. But anyway, just a fun. You know, those kids will be the kids we're talking about in just a few years. It happens fast,
Yep.
and to have them go up and do a fun thing like that is pretty cool. So hope they had a good time. If you have any more pictures, things like that, we'd love to see it. But
I don't want to take the last word, but I would like to thank a couple people.
Yeah,
And obviously,
by
it's
all
hard to
means.
thank everyone, but just a shout out to just the community of Bullhead. I mean, no matter if we're at Mount, Mojave, River Valley, Desert Star, you know, there's someone in the community that's helping and doing stuff to make successful nights at any stadium. So just thanking the Bullhead City community and everyone that does stuff. I'd love to thank Terry Tomlinson over at Legacy Foundation. They're awesome over there, and I couldn't give them any more credit than I am right now. So I'd like to thank Island Ice. They helped us out a lot this year, being at games, and Marlo. She does a lot for, I guess, Mojave.
somehow she's at every field.
She's been around. She's been around
How's
us,
she at every field?
and I know she's going through a lot. And just want to thank her for her dedication and everything. And we stand behind you and everything. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. There's a whole lot better to say after that.
And I'm missing people. I'm
Well,
missing a lot of
there's
people
one
here.
that I'd like to
You.
throw out there too. No. But Tri-State Traces, which I know you're obviously very familiar with. You're on the committee there. Everybody on that committee. I mean, what you guys do for the youth and have done for the youth, it's particularly sports, the scholarship aspect, the awards, all of that is greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And I don't think you guys get the recognition and props that you guys deserve. And I know you're not in it for that.
Yeah, no, that's and I'll tell you that there are a lot of great people on that thing to do all the hard work. Larry, Heidi, Danielle. We just brought on a couple new board members, including I'm officially a board member. I try to not be a board member as much as possible, but they do a great job, and I really appreciate that. The reward is not the recognition; it's the other things.
Sure.
But it does help. It helps get eyes on it and keeps the energy level up. I'm sure you guys get a compliment here or there, and it kind of recharges your batteries a little
Yeah,
bit. So
it does.
I'll make sure they get that message. So
Thank you guys.
pretty
this was
cool
awesome.
stuff.
Absolutely.
I am excited to add the Malk memorabilia
Yeah.
to
lift
the
it up,
wall
lift it
here.
up.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super excited.
Couldn't find any Mount flags.
This will work. We now have 3 of the 8. We're only
If you
we got to
want
get
an
5
flag,
more.
I can get you one.
Yeah. No, listen, I love it. I can't wait to add to it. Gentlemen, best of luck on
Thank you.
Friday.
Yeah.
You and your
Thank you.
team and your school. It's always cool to get a home playoff game in town. I think it's kind of lost on people that it's not common because we've had so much success.
Right.
But hosting a playoff game is way cool. And then you have to come up to our little corner of Arizona to come play our kids, and brings a lot of people here, a lot of attention, and it's a great opportunity to show off everything you got. So I wish you guys the
And
best.
shout out to the cheer squad too. I didn't mention them earlier with Stuco.
Catch the wrath if you don't mention them.
Yeah.
They earn it. They definitely earn
Yeah,
it.
they do. They're at everything. When I go to things up there,
They
they're
cheer
at
at
everything.
volleyball. What other school cheers at volleyball?
That's a good point, yeah.
They do it all.
Yeah, no,
Nana.
absolutely.
Nana
Gentlemen,
Price.
thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and by all means, we'd love to get some input. Hopefully, after a successful Friday night playoff victory, shoot us a little video, call in, whatever it is, and we'll be watching.
Yep.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you guys. Yes, thank you.
Yep. Well.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
Thanks, Jeff.